saying they went to the protest the Pope thing. The Pope, the sort of, Pope's not on board with gay marriage. I'm a gay man. I'd love to have gay marriage approved by the Catholic Church. They're not going to. Meantime, I really, really wish that people would reserve their ire for the people who don't just want to stop me marrying, but want to throw me off a cliff.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are good. Guys, today we're going to be reacting to Douglas Murray. I'm not allowed to say this about Islam, but I will say it anyways. Guys, let's go right down to this.
We spend all of our time, and quite rightly shouldn't stop doing it, differentiating out between different types of Islam, different types of Muslims, and so on and so forth. But the minute it's a group of white, middle-aged men, it's with huge delight that people decide, excellent, we will dismiss them as one single block, no need to investigate further. Let me give you an example. The English Defence League, an extraordinary phenomenon which, by the way, in my opinion, wouldn't have occurred if the government had have got a grip on al-Mujahirun. It only came about because the authorities didn't do anything about that particularly thuggish organisation. These things have consequences. The English Defence League, when they started protesting, had banners saying things like, Sharia law discriminates against women. Sharia law is anti-gay. Well, I'm good with both of those sentiments. I'm sure most people in this room are. If you were ever going to have a grassroots response from non-Muslims to Islamism, that would be how you'd want it, surely. But, of course, we all know there are awkward things around this. There have been exposed links from the EDL with far-right organisations in individual cases, and maybe others will know more about this wider than that. But, for instance, Louis Amis wrote a very interesting piece in Standpoint magazine some months ago after investigation, and he said, and others have said, that as far as they can see within the EDL, they have tried to kick out BNP elements. Does that mean that they aren't racist, or they are? I'm not making a definitive call. I'm just saying these things are extremely complex, and we ought to be careful before dismissing whole swathes of people. Thirdly, these groups stop the Islamization of Europe and stop the Islamization of America. I mean, I don't know enough about them, maybe. As far as I can see, Stop the Islamization of Europe only has a few members. In America, Robert Spencer is one of the directors. I happen to know Robert Spencer. I respect him. He's a very brilliant scholar and writer. Now, some people in this hall may disagree with him, may disagree with all sorts of things he says. Well, sure, but Mariam Namazi sitting beside me is a communist. I disagree with Mariam Namazi on a whole range of things. She disagrees with me because I'm a conservative. But I don't think that Mariam Namazi should be out of the debate. I don't think anyone who was once a member of the Communist... I mean, I'm sitting on a panel with somebody who's a member of the Communist Party. Does that mean in future I should never be given a platform? The 20th century had two dreadful totalitarianisms. The second thing, it was demonstrated by one of the people who said, this gentleman there, talked about, going to the protest of the Pope rally. If I may say so, this, I wasn't there, I didn't approve of the protest, because there are various things around that I think are complete guff. One of them is the fact that people love saying they went to the protest of the Pope thing. The Pope, the sort of, Pope's not on board with gay marriage. I'm a gay man. I'd love to have gay marriage approved by the Catholic Church. They're not going to. Meantime, I really, really wish that people would reserve their ire for the people who don't just want to stop me marrying, but want to throw me off a cliff. Much better way to spend your time. But of course people love it because they think, oh, I'll attack the Islamists, but then to be allow myself to do that, I can attack the Pope to show I'm not a racist. Show me a Monsignor, grab me a cardinal, and I can attack them because that will allow me. This is left-wing nonsense. Again, paedophile priests, you said. If you'd have just stood there and said, I'm trying to protect Muslims from paedophile imams, people go, oh, how Islamophobic. And actually, in that case, it probably would be. But you say paedophile priests and smear the Catholic priesthood, and it's not a problem. Thirdly, finally, getting toward the end, a lot of this problem comes down, and the question we didn't get onto tonight, the fact is this: at the end of the Second World War, the Nazi leaders were tried and executed. At the end of the Cold War, it didn't happen. One of the biggest problems we have is the fact that it wasn't resolved. The people who did the largest massacres, the largest number of deaths caused by any movement in history, were not brought to trial. It's thought of as Guardian, the leading left-wing newspaper, had Richard Gott, one of its editors, a paid member of the KGB, a paid KGB agent who said, oh, it was just a bit of a laugh. Oh, and it still is just a bit of a laugh. Because if it's communism, it's a bit of a laugh. 70 million dead here and there, a bit of a laugh. and so on. So please, let's adjust our fucking values. And finally, a lot of this is a simple mental breakdown of the left. I hesitate to say this in the presence of Nick Cohen, who's chronicled this better than anyone. But the mental breakdown of the left, the fact that at so-called left-wing meetings, we have the obsessions with Palestine, for instance. There was one recently, again, I saw Gays for Palestine. Give me a break. If Gays for Palestine were in Palestine, they'd have to move to Israel. Just don't fall for this rubbish. And don't fall for it when it's coming from the right or the far right. And don't fall for it when it's coming from the left or the far left. Have some decency.
So guys, I really do get Douglas on this one. I feel like his points were valid and his points really did make sense. I mean, at this point, I would just be advocating for policies that support democratic values without alienating the minority communities. Honestly, when it comes down to Sharia law, I really do not know all of like its laws and everything, but sometimes I personally feel like I don't really support Sharia law. Honestly, I do not really support Sharia law based on an event that happened I think like 3 to 4 years ago now, if not 5. Yeah, so I really do not support Sharia law. But when it comes to the left hypocrisy, I feel it's on a high level. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know if it's that they are blinded from actually seeing the truth, or they just want to, or they're just doing it. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's from a place of ignorance or from a place of, them just, I mostly feel like most of them are ignorant. I really feel like a lot of the left are ignorant, because this thing is not right, but yet you are kind of promoting it, advocating for it, and like, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. But guys, tell me what you think about this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel. I love you guys.